Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy, and we haven't spoken in a long time. We haven't really sat down and had a conversation in a long time. I really appreciate you guys letting me do the silent videos because I just needed a little bit of space, but I wanted to create content at the same time. I know lately I've been putting up a lot of TikToks, just reposting what I posted on TikTok. I remember saying that I would never go on TikTok. And I was like, Jesus would have to tell me to download TikTok before I go on TikTok. But one day my cousin sent me a TikTok. And this is after many people have sent me TikToks that I couldn't see. So finally I said, let me go over here and see what's going on. So I downloaded the app and created an account. And oh my goodness, I am having a ball. I feel like TikTok is exactly what Instagram used to be, and it's just so much fun. I'm having an absolute great time over on TikTok. But I do really just enjoy long form content. I still do really enjoy horizontal content. So I don't ever see myself let go of my YouTube channel, but it's nice to do other things sometimes. And I've just been really busy. September for me is the perfect opportunity to reset. Just like I feel like March is my new year. I treat March the way most people treat January, how people set up and make their goals. A lot of times I don't even have a planner in January and February. I don't even really get anything until March because I kind of just don't know what to do. I just feel like with the holidays and everything going on, it's too much for me to try to figure out what I need to do for January 1st. So I typically just wait till March to do things like that. September is the perfect opportunity to reset for me as well because I have so much fun in spring and summer. And then when it comes time to fall, I like to give my apartment a really good clean. Like to reset my wardrobe, just kind of reset my mind because it's going to be cooling down and life is going to be slowing down. At the same time, the holidays are coming up because October 1st is Halloween. I don't make the rules, and so because of that I feel like life just gets so busy for the last quarter of the year, the bird months. And so here on September 2nd, my goal with these videos was to kind of film clips of my day every day practicing self-care and then putting up one video at the end of the month. I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think that's gonna work. The way today went, I very much was thinking about scrapping this whole idea of filming a little piece of my life every day because the way today went. Let's back up a little bit. I have worked 2 jobs twice in my life, and both those times I became physically sick, physically ill, like hospitalized, surgery, medical debt type of ill. And so even though I don't work 2 jobs now, my job is very taxing and it is stressful most days. So for that reason, I do feel like I work 2 jobs. And so because I love this job and have no plans of leaving it or looking for something else or giving it up, I am going to have to learn how to practice self-care with this job. So I thought that September would be the perfect opportunity for me to kind of start back my self-care routine. So we're calling this self-care September. So I'm going to take you through the month and kind of show you how I plan to practice self-care. So this is twofold. One, for me to share what I'm doing so that you can find inspiration, and 2 is for you to put what you're doing with your self-care in the comment section below so that can give all of us some new ideas. So the reason I thought I was going to scrap it today because this weekend I rested hard. Friday I did not work and I went and got my hair done, and I told my cousin don't do too much because I'm gonna go lay down for the next 4 days. And she was like, okay. So Friday, after leaving getting my hair done, I stopped by Marshall's and got a few things for my apartment, and then Saturday afternoon I turned my phone off completely. I didn't put it on airplane mode. I turned it off completely, and I turned it off until this morning. So I had no way of scrolling, no way of texting, no way of calling, no FaceTime. I was able to actually deeply give my body what I needed. I felt so good this morning when I got up. I did my yoga, I did some journaling, I did some prayers. I got up, I put on one of my favorite outfits, and I went to work. I was ready today. I felt ready for the first time in May. We'll get back to May in a minute. I felt really ready, and so I go to work and I go to my office, and my coworker's in there, and she was looking for something. I was like, "What are you looking for?" And I helped her find it, and then she started telling me about a little problem, a little situation that was happening already. Mind you, it's not quite 8 o'clock yet. It's about 7 minutes to 8. So she's telling me the situation. I'm like, okay, X, Y, and Z. She's like, yeah, I got it covered. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then she's like Teams messaging me. My other two coworkers have come in by this time, and they're talking to me. And then she's Teamsing me. I was like, hey, let me just come over there where you are. So we get over there, and the situation was fine. We had a guest speaker today. The situation turned out fine, but it was a lot of unnecessary things happen in the process, based on someone else. And so I wanted to be over there to kind of protect her from the situation and also be her backup if she needed it. And so that's kind of how the morning went. Not morning, that was like the first hour. So I was a half an hour late for my one-on-one with my director. So I go in with her and I'm telling her what's going on, and she's sending emails while I'm talking to her, and it's just a morning that just goes like off the rails, right? It just doesn't go according to what I thought the morning was gonna be like and what I had planned in my planner. I got a couple things done on my checklist, but not nearly enough. And so my boss had a really busy day today, so I kind of had to keep him in line too, with his day. And so I just thought I'm gonna scrap this idea of sharing my day, because this is not going according to plan. But I go, no, wait, let me back up. That is the point of this month. The point is, when things go off the rails like this, how do I allow myself to practice self-care? How do I practice self-care at work? How do I practice self-care when I get home? And so one of the things I had planned this week to practice self-care at work is to not eat at my desk. Sometimes it's just easier, especially when my boss is between meetings. One of the things I have to do is kind of keep him on time. And it's a very interesting thing. Anyway, I've seen what happens if I don't keep him on time. So we're not going to do that again. So I have to keep him on time, and so sometimes I'll just eat lunch at my desk because it makes the day easier. But I go, no, it makes it easier for him. It doesn't make it easier for me. And so for that reason, I decided this month he just gonna have to, whatever happens on lunch happens on lunch. I'll try to take my lunch when I know it's a little bit easy for him, but also I'm going to lunch. And so that's where I am. So today the plan was to eat away from my desk. It didn't quite go like that. Let me just say I had a snack that turned out to be my lunch, and I had it at my desk. So I go, okay. And so then another way I wanted to practice self-care this month at work is to have tea time also away from my desk. And so today I did make myself a cup of tea for tea time, and I walked away from my desk to create the cup of tea. But then I was like, shoot, I got to send this email today. And while I was sending that email, boop, 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 some other things popped up really fast. So I had to know. So today didn't quite go according to plan at work with practicing self-care, but at least I had a plan. I had a plan to practice self-care at work, but it didn't go like that. I really rested this weekend, and it felt so good. I really have felt like I have been, for lack of a better term, balls to the wall since May. So this spring I knew that my lease was coming up in my other apartment. My lease is going to end in June, the end of June. And so I hated that apartment so much. I did vlog my first day in that apartment, and I very much voiced my disappointment in that video with my apartment. And so I have really suffered and struggled through that apartment for 18 months. And I had decided that potentially I would have to continue to struggle and suffer just a little longer. I was going to go month to month because I just didn't have the time to look for another apartment that would be reasonable for me. And so, what I decided to do one day was to create a mock budget of how much more rent I could pay and still live comfortably. So, I created that budget. About a week or so after that, I was at TJ Maxx shopping and I hear a voice go, "Hey, Tracy." And I turned around, it's my friend. And I haven't seen her in years. And so she and I kind of strike up a conversation. We're talking, catching up. And then she tells me that she lives in this building. And so I go, oh my goodness, Sam, my cousins are trying to get me to move in their building before I move to Memphis. And the idea of me living in Memphis, he has been talking about this building from day one. And I was like, she was like, you got to come over and see it. I was like, okay. So the very next weekend, I go to her house and I go immediately when I walk through her front door. My thought was, this kitchen too big. I don't cook like that no more. And number two, this is it. This is the apartment. This is how I'm supposed to be living. This is where I'm supposed to be living. And I asked her how much her rent was. She told me, and it happened to be $50 more than the mock budget that I created. And I thought, where can I pull this $50 from? And I'm like, hey, I can do it. So, but you know how when you go to a different apartments, like the rent fluctuates, and so it depends on what day you get the apartment on how much the rent will be. And also, that's her rent. That doesn't mean it's going to be my rent because it's not a flat rate for the building. So when I started working with the leasing agent, I didn't know if I could do it because I had 2 trips planned for May. For my birthday weekend happened to be my niece's graduation weekend, and so I didn't. That was one trip that had to be paid for, and then also at the end of May, I was going to England for a week with a day trip over to France. And so I was like, I don't have that kind of money. And also, what's the rent rate? So that's when I found out it would be, just about $50 more than what my budget called for. But then I added something else onto it. So it was even a little bit more than that. I was like, girl, slow down with these amenities. And so I did end up creating a budget that will work for me. But the thing is that I had to sign the lease by May 31st, which means that I would have had to pay a rent for my new place and for my old place for the month of June. I would then also have to move and need a moving company, so that was another chunk of money, and I just didn't know how I was going to balance everything out. It wasn't for me to know. God worked that thing out. Let me tell y'all something. God worked that thing out. I still am in awe when I think about everything that I did without burdening my family, without burdening anyone. No friends or family. I did it all with hiring people, and it felt so good because things were done on time. Not when people get out of work, not when people could, when people were tired, none of that. Everything was just done, and this was just like, I felt like a grown-up. Let me just say it like that. I felt like a grown-up with this move. So the day I get back from England is the day that I'm supposed to get the keys to this place, the exact same day. So I got off the plane at 9 something in the morning and had my appointment here at 1 o'clock. So I came and did it, but I was getting sick. I was feeling bad. So I had been a whole week in England, and then I came home and I didn't feel well. On the plane back home, I started feeling bad and I was just feeling worse and worse. So I come here. This apartment is different from the one they showed me. Excuse me, my first response was like, oh no, because the same thing happened in my last apartment. It was different from the one that they showed me. And so, but this different for this apartment was all upgrades, in my opinion. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. No, I love this apartment so much. And so, yes, I got the keys and everything. So I didn't get the moving company till June 19th, and that's the day I moved, because the whole week, the whole first week of June, I was just ill. I was just sick. I missed work the whole first week. I ended up having strep throat, had to get on some strong antibiotics. It was just a lot. It was a lot. And so I wasn't really packing. And so when the June 19th came and the movers came, I had to move all of the furniture in as much as I could pack. And I would get off work every day after work and go pack up more things at my other apartment, but I would come here to sleep, and I would take a day off because I was so tired, because I still was on the antibiotic. It was just a lot. So I ended up having to hire a task rabbit toward the end of June to move just everything I had left, and I ended up hiring a cleaning person to do a move out clean in that apartment as well. And so then at the end of June, everything was settled. I was moving things out of that old apartment until the very day I turned in my keys. I had 3 plants that I had to put in my car that day to move over here the day I turned in my keys at the old apartment. Then I got to live here in the first, I was already living here from June 19th, but I still had the responsibility of the old apartment. So it was just like a wait. So I released that weight, and then it was like the 4th of July weekend, and I remember taking a day off, but that was just pure sleep because of all that I had done for the month of May and the month of June. I didn't really get any much unpacked here. I didn't really get set things up the way I wanted to, and then went right back into work and right back into days like today, just like hard. And I'm trying to live my life, trying to catch up on the weekend. Everybody that I know wants to come see my apartment, and I wanted them to come, so I kind of had to take days off, like from what I would be unpacking, to have company, which is totally fine. I loved it. But then I also had some furniture pieces in this apartment that was making me feel unsettled, because the furniture pieces I had that fit in the old apartment just didn't fit in this one. So I was trying to figure out, do I sell? Do I give away? Do I take to a thrift store? Like, what do I do? So I was still doing all that. I still had some residual bills left from the other apartment, still paying things for here. So it just took the month of July to kind of settle all that out. And so finally here, a couple of weeks ago, in August, I finally got rid of the last piece of furniture that I needed to get rid of. So this weekend was designed to really unpack a few boxes in this apartment, hang a couple of pictures, and really, really deeply care for myself. So that is why I turned my telephone off. I needed no noise. I just needed to do what I did. I unpacked a couple of boxes. I got out my measuring tape and measured a couple of things. I decided how I want things to look. I put some pen to paper and created some budgets, how much I'm willing to spend on this, how much I'm willing to do on that, and just slept quite a bit. I slept a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I slept a lot. And then I also did a lot of like scrapbooking. I did a lot of I set up a bullet journal. We'll talk about that later. So I just really did have a lot of fun with my things. I went outside. I made sure I went outside Sunday. I was like, girl, you got to go outside. You got to go outside, get some fresh air. So I went outside on Sunday. I didn't go outside yesterday. I was like, I'm going to go outside tomorrow. So when I was getting dressed this morning, I felt so good. I felt like, yes. This self-care thing is kicking in. We got this. I did some yoga this morning. I have been in a little bit of pain this weekend as well, so I got that finally calmed down. Only thing was in my mind, I was like, I wonder if my car gonna start, because I hadn't been in that car since Friday. Of course it started, but that's always in my mind. I'm like, is my car gonna start? Because I ain't seen it in a while. And so I just really rested. I felt good. So to have today go like today was, I was like, oh no. Oh no. This is not going to be my life. I refuse to let it be my life. So that's why I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and film anyway. I'm going to go ahead and film. I'm going to just talk to my friends. I'm going to talk to my online friends and just like, hey, how are y'all getting through today? How are y'all making this thing work for yourselves? And so that's why we're filming today anyway. So since I didn't get to practice self-care at work, I'm saying that because I'm thinking about an incident that I had today where I was about to tell somebody how it is working with them, and I thought, nope, I won't do that. Nope. Don't do it. And I did, and I'm very proud of myself because I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. So I didn't get to practice self-care at work like I wanted to today. So I've been thinking about, how would I practice self-care today? And I think one of the most important things to me today, I took some minute when I got my tea instead of my desk, and like I took 3 minutes literally just to, like, while I was getting my water for my tea, everything. I was like, what could I do at home to make me feel good? One of the things immediately popped in my head was my kitchen. My kitchen is not as clean as I want it to be, so today I'm going to spend a little time cleaning my kitchen. I'm going to put on some good music, and I'm feeling like a little Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke, it's Brooke Benton. Feeling about those guys. I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna play. So YouTube always takes my videos down or don't show them when I even put copyright free music in them lately, and I don't have the energy to fight YouTube. So you will hear probably silence while I'm cleaning the kitchen. We'll do that today. After I clean the kitchen, I'm not gonna do nothing else. I'm gonna take my shower, get dressed for bed, and I will pull out my clothes for tomorrow. But other than like more chores or like, I'm not gonna do nothing else. That's how I'm gonna care for myself today. I'm just going to do the kitchen and not overfill my to-do list. So that's the plan for today. I'll bring you guys along with me while I do that. And that's probably going to be the vlog for today. So today's vlog is for yesterday and today. I'm going to still try to do clips of each day. When I get to a certain amount of minutes, like I've been talking to you guys for 22 minutes now. When I get to a certain minutes, probably like 30, I'll go ahead and just put the video up. There will be no consistency. There will just be me filming clips, talking a little bit, maybe not talking at all in them, and just putting them up, because creating YouTube videos is one of the things that brings me so much joy, and I'm just not gonna give it up. I'm sorry I'm not consistent. I'm not gonna try to be. I'm not gonna create a schedule. I'm not going to tell you that I'm gonna do this every Saturday anymore. I'm just gonna film when I feel like filming, and I'm gonna upload it when I feel like uploading it. This whole trying to make things consistently work right with my hobby is not working for me. So I want to keep my hobby. I want to keep making it a lot of fun for me. So no pressure from me, and thank you guys for never pressuring me. I really appreciate you for that. All right, let's do what we said we were gonna do, and then let's go to bed.